something with Flutter already. Nice. Okay. So it seems like we have a difference in terms of exposure to Flutter and knowledge of Flutter. So this is how we're going to structure the talk. We're going to start with just a very quick overview of what Flutter is and why it really matters at Google and beyond. Then we're actually going to hack on some Flutter code live on stage. So hopefully the demo gods are with us today. And then we're actually going to have some partners talk to you and show you some other really cool demos. So I mentioned what Flutter is. But a lot of times when we talk about Flutter, we do it with 4 pillars. So we say that Flutter is beautiful, Flutter is fast, Flutter is productive, and Flutter is open. So let me dive into each one of these for a little bit. The reason Flutter is beautiful is because Flutter allows you to paint every pixel to the screen. Everything in Flutter is a widget, which is customizable, which means that you as a developer have full control over your application. We also have some widgets that we give you, such as the material design and Cupertino widgets, so you can make your app look to certain platforms, but you can also customize them to make it a very brand-driven app, as you can see in the example behind me, and I'll show you a few more examples. Secondly, Flutter is fast. We use Skia, graphics rendering engine, and Flutter apps render over 60 frames per second. As you can see in this animation built by 2 Dimensions, and that's actually overlaid, as you can see, by text and other custom things. So you can create these highly powered animations that are jank-free, because we've all been in that situation where you have an app and it's a little bit laggy, but obviously we expect our apps to have really good performance. So as soon as it lags, all the investment you put into the app can go away. Thirdly, productive. So something we love at Flutter that we created because our developers love is called stateful hot reload, which allows you to make changes to your code and literally in real time see them appear on the application. As you can see, what's happening right here. So we're changing the word click to tapped and hot reloading it, but we're also changing some of the business logic. So we're actually making it count downwards instead of upwards. And you can see it reloads that in half a second or so. So finally, Flutter is open, and this is something that's really exciting to us, which is Flutter is entirely free and open source. In fact, a ton of our community members are probably here in person or watching online, and they've contributed.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Mic check. Okay. First of all, I want to thank you all for taking your time off to come and witness the launch of our new club at Uganda Christian University. My name is Ankunda Patience, and I am the first developer student club lead for Uganda Christian University. Just a small brief about me. I am a computer science student. I'm currently in my 2nd year. I'm the only girl in my family. What else? I used to do architecture at Makerere University, and I left architecture after 2 years and joined Uganda Christian University in my 3rd year of university. So I call myself a 4th year, but 2nd year, for those who ask me which year I'm in. One of the reasons why I changed from architecture to computer science is because of a certain gentleman here called Solomon Opio, who refused to let me go. He kept on pushing me to get into tech, encouraging me to attend community meetups. He's the Google Developer Group's lead of Kampala, and I think has been there for some years now. Though now he's on Google Developer Cloud, Kampala. And he encouraged me to continue attending the workshops that were happening. By then I was still in Kampala. And somehow, some way, I found myself in computer science, and I am loving my life now. I've been given opportunities to travel abroad. I've traveled to San Francisco, Silicon Valley for a girls' event, and I've also traveled to Ghana for the summit that we had recently for the new leads. So this is my Twitter handle for those who are interested in knowing. And so about developer student clubs, it's a community of students and it's not owned by Google. It's not managed by Google, but it's supported by Google developers. So these are communities around the world that bring together students who are interested or are passionate about solving problems in their communities, but using Google technologies. So Google developers provide resources that can be used to solve these problems. The main goal of these clubs is to create impact, impacting your community around. I'm sure there are those people who are passionate about solving problems. So Google developers have now also given you a platform to use, technologies to use to also solve those problems. So why they formed developer student clubs is to mainly prepare university students for their industrial employment. It started out in India in 2017, and it has grown now to over 700 universities around the world. In Africa, they started last year in 2018, and we have one of the leads for last year around with us. He's from Muni University, and he'll also talk more on his club. And the basis of the club is to learn Google technologies. And it's not only for those who already know how to do stuff, it's also for those who want to learn. So we'll be having sessions on different technologies starting from scratch, just to give an opportunity to those who are willing to learn, to actually learn. And the clubs around the world have opened so many opportunities for many. For those who came earlier, you watched some videos of students who created apps that solve problems in their community. And this video is about a deaf girl who created a mobile application for blind students from India. So I'm just going to play this, I don't know. Let's see how it goes.
Berprestasi seorang developer karena bisa benar bisa Android teknologi.
Awalnya Hastu bukan merupakan seorang yang percaya diri, namun setelah dia ikut DSC, dia menjadi lebih percaya diri dan lebih tertarik untuk mendalami skill di bidang pemrograman Android.
Saya belajar membuat aplikasi untuk membuat orang-orang yang berbicara sama seperti saya.
Saya bangga dengan Hastu karena selama Hastu join di DSC, dia memiliki progres yang cukup signifikan.
Aku sudah bisa jadi dari dokteran asal.
From Indonesia, and she managed to create an application for, what's wrong with this thing? So Hatsu, we want to bring such experiences here in Uganda Christian University. For her to be able to create a mobile application which she thought she would not be able to do so is very heartwarming, especially because she made an application to help her fellow students. And so Uganda Christian University, by the time I came here, we didn't have any communities. And from my background of having been part of a community and having decided to change from architecture to computer science due to the influence of the community, I felt like we also needed such an experience here at UCU. So by the time the applications rolled out, I didn't know about DSC, and someone just referred me to the application, and it was, should I say, like two-process application. We filled out, we had to create a short video, 30 seconds, submit it, including questions that they asked us. From there, we moved on to an interview that we had with people who work for Google. And for those who succeeded, we were selected around August. And just 3 weeks later, we traveled to Ghana for a summit where they led sessions to show us how we can be able to run communities for those of us who are starting out, how to carry out our activities, and also get to network with the other devs, the other club leads. So this is a community of, it's not just only here on campus. In Uganda, we are 6 developer groups, and we'll be also partnering them in some projects. So it's just not only about us, it's also about the community at large, even Uganda and even beyond Uganda, even up to Africa. So the technologies that Google has, these are some of them: Android, web, machine learning, cloud, Google Maps, TensorFlow, Firebase, and we'll be interacting with some of them. And also the years to come, others will keep on coming, and yeah, but we're going to be mainly dealing with web, Android, machine learning, cloud. So this is a roadmap for our year, 2019-2020, what we hope to achieve, or what we hope to do for the year. Starting next week, we'll be having a session on Git and GitHub, version control, which we realize that even students under science and technology do not know how to use GitHub, where they can be able to store their code. So we're going to have a session on that, and then after that week, we'll start rolling out our web development and mobile development sessions for 8 weeks. So this will be structured according to how the community decides. We'll have a WhatsApp group where you'll be able to decide when you want these meetups to be. We didn't want to dictate basing on like my timetable, but when it's most favorable for you as a community, as the members, to attend. So either we'll be having web and mobile running at the same time but different rooms, or we'll have one start earlier, maybe on like Thursday, and then web on Friday. So depending on what you guys decide, will be how it will roll out. On 26th October, we'll be having DevFest Kampala, and Mr. Solomon will talk more on that, but we highly encourage the students to attend it. There'll be transport from here to Kampala to attend. There'll be many speakers, and it will be more of a networking kind of thing. Then we'll have a workshop on machine learning. This will be on a certain Saturday, soon to be decided. And also the same for cloud. They'll be on 2 separate Saturdays. So for those of you who are interested in machine learning and cloud, we are encouraged to attend that. Then when the 8 weeks are done and we are in exam period and heading towards the holiday, we shall have a coding challenge just to keep us busy, and also to keep us coding and working. This will be in such a way like would give you something to design, and by the end of those 30 days, we hope to see those designs, depending on which track you're on. Then next year, we'll have a design thinking session. This is mainly to give us knowledge on how to create the best solutions for the problems we're trying to solve. It will be also a workshop on a certain Saturday. And then this is also to prepare us for the hackathon that we'll have after that, which will be a one-day event. A hackathon is mainly like an event where you come one day, we divide you into teams, or you can come with your teammates and just solve a problem then and there. So you have to brainstorm, you have to research, and then come up with a prototype through mock-ups, and then you pitch your idea in front of maybe judges, and then from there, hoping that the teams will stick, you could be able to participate in the solution challenge, which is the main thing about the developer student clubs, and Samuel will talk more on that. So solution challenge is it's a competition, international competition, where the DSC members are encouraged to create solutions to problems. And Samuel so happened to have won the first, it was the first? Yeah, so happened to have won the first solution challenge. I think there were about how many applications? I think 1,000, I think there were 170 or something like that. There were so many applications. So he'll be talking more about that. So we're hoping that from the hackathon, those solutions that have been gathered from there will be submitted for the solution challenge. So the more the merrier. We hope to keep that trophy here in Uganda and not going to Africa. So again, we'll still be having web and mobile development running for 8 weeks next semester. And then we'll have a Women's Day celebration to encourage women to join tech. And then we'll have AI and machine learning sessions, workshops on weekends, as well as cloud. Then we shall also have a Google I/O watch when it will, I think sometime around April, it's usually around April. We shall also have a watch party, and now the biggest thing also is the showcase. So showcase is it's a big event. We invite sponsors, potential investors, the community to come and see the solutions we've designed for them. So this is like an opportunity for those who would have started from the hackathon and kept on building up to showcase their products and hopefully get an investor at the end of the day. Then holiday, we'll have a coding challenge throughout for like about 4 months because we'll be off SEM. And then the next info session where the new developer student club leads would be chosen and their team. So for the leads, it's not me just passing on to the next person. You still have to apply to be a lead. So anyone who's a member can be a lead. So you're highly encouraged to apply. But of course, they'll be asking you, what have you done, those things. So you need to keep being an active participant for that. So this is another video for students who created an AR navigation app for fellow students at school. These are just some of the products that you're able to make using Google technologies. I'm sorry, but this screen is disturbing me.
When I came to first year, I found it difficult navigating a lot of facilities on campus. Most first year students, they found it a major challenge. So I said, okay, this is something that we really need to solve. The DSC is a community where students who are like-minded come together to learn technologies in cloud, Android development, and web development. So after a few workshops, I figured that we could solve accessibility for first-year students. We decided to use the mall as a use case to build a navigation system using AR technology. At first, people were like, this is really a complex problem to solve. But then after we broke the problem down, we realized that all the technologies we had to use, we had already learned them in our DSC workshops.
When I heard about it, I was like, David, I need to join this project because I was lost basically the entire first academic year. And that's what DSC does. It gives you a project and it makes sure that you are well equipped to work on the project.
So we had a lot of volunteers and we broke them into teams. First, we had a Blender team to get a 3D model of the building. Then we had the Unity and Scripted team who got the models and made it interactive and available to the Android team. who built the screens and the app and used Firebase, which stores user data and for business analytics. And we had a UI team who created a designer set and all the dynamic interfaces you see. Last, we had a documentation team who put everything into one file to make it available to the open source community.
My name is Paul and I study chemistry. I got inspired by attending one of the DSC seminars.
I'm actually very impressed about my brother's journey here because as a computer science student, I just have to focus on the PC part, computer building apps, but he has something else to do. But he's still taking some time off to help us and he's really doing a good job.
Now I can build Android apps. That means I can use that as a part-time job and maybe chemistry as my full-time job, or maybe the vice versa.
There were times that we had to meet in the evenings, there were times we had to meet early in the morning just to get the project working.
It was hard, but then we looked at the bigger picture and realized that, okay, we can do this, so yeah. DSC is a family and it's about the learning of teamwork and leadership.
What we've built is not a perfect app, but we've come a long way by being able to use the knowledge that we gain from our DSC workshops. My God, this is cool. Who wouldn't love this?
So we're trying to give you a platform to learn, a platform to put into practice what you've been taught in class. First, we've been taught HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and not known how we can use it in the real world. For those of us who have been taught Java and not know how to use it, this is an opportunity for you to test that and create solutions that actually help people out there. So for my team, I'd like to invite you guys to come up, please. These are people who they cut across. I chose people who cut across different fields, industries. Please come up. We have civil engineering, IT, and computer science. I think they'll introduce themselves. I'm not sure. Yes. Yeah. What's his name? Where's Richie? Yes. So I'd like them to introduce themselves. Tell us your name, your course, your year.
Hi everyone, my name is Justus Semazi.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Justus Semazi. Currently in third year doing computer science. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mercy Auma Gabriela, Computer Science, Year 2. You're very welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kuona Martin, Year 2, Computer Science.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Daniel Tumsime, Civil Engineering and Environmental Engineering, Year 2.
Hi, everyone. My name's Mwangzi Richard, IT, Year 2. Thank you very much.
There's also a first year, I don't know if she's around, she's called Kisha, but it's a very diverse team. And we're not the only members of the team. Others will keep on coming as time goes. So there's still room for other people to join. So you can take your seat. So basically how we'll be learning, it's not we'll have some lecturer come in front of us, tell us what not and what not. This is a peer-to-peer kind of learning activity where students will be teaching students. So if you're someone who knows more about Android, web development, machine learning, and is willing to share with people who are willing to learn, you can contact any of us, and yeah, we'll organize for you to lead sessions. Our mode of communication will be through WhatsApp, Google Groups, and Slack. There should be registration passing around. We'll send you an email with the WhatsApp link for those who want to join the club. And from there, that's where communications will keep happening. Yes, so feel free to follow us. We just created the Twitter page on developer DSC _UCU, and also our email address in case you have any questions. So that's it for me. I encourage you guys to sign up and be part of this amazing journey. Many opportunities are coming your way. So yeah, that's it from me. Right now, I'd like to invite Mr. Solomon up here to come. Okay, so Sammy can come first and talk more about developer student clubs. Sammy? You're welcome to take the floor.
Hello everyone. How are we doing? Are we fine? Thank you so much for your presentation, because I'm going to add from where she has stopped. She's a DSC lead and I've been a DSC lead, so I'm just an ex-DSC lead, and I was taking that chapter, DSC Moni University. The reason as to why I'm here, I'm going to just take you through just a wrap-up of what it is, and not what it is, but what we've done with ours. So you can point out the mistakes we've done, how you can improve it, and as well as copy from what we've done if it's good. My university is Moni University, and my name's Mugisha Samuel. The university is located in Arua district, that is West Nile. That's my Twitter handle as well. All right, so she has been talking about the roadmaps, and she has been talking about the activities that you'll be doing. So some of them will be, we did workshops, and they involved, of course, hands-on training students, ladies, first years on how to deal with some technologies. Project developments. This is where you people will need to reach out to your communities. Find out if they are facing some challenges. You know, people can be facing challenges, but they might be contented thinking that they are fine, but yet you'd bring a solution that would save something, right? So this is a certain business, and it's a bookshop. We were trying to design a desktop app that could try to manage their stock. Yeah. And then this is a health worker working for WHO. And this is where he was taking us through the process. So we had to now generate a solution, but we are trying to understand the problem. Then after all, she talked about showcase. So this is where the club will give you an opportunity to present what you've made. You have a project, you really need to be funded. So under that, you'll have to talk about your projects, present it to the world, present it to the community, right? Now, you have projects, you have everything, you have skills. There is what we call World Cup. Now, World Cup is the solution challenge, and this is organized by Google. This is where this club, DSC UCU, is going to compete with a club in Harvard, with a club in MIT, blah, 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 in US, a club in India, a club in Japan. And you people are going to submit your projects. And these projects will have to compete. And the best solution will be chosen, and then you'll be the winner. So under Google Solution Challenge, we need they will need a project that should solve a challenge. Make sure that it is tackling a certain challenge or a problem. So that means the more the challenge is really huge, then the more, it's not about the big project, it's about how big the challenge you're trying to, you've visualized. It should be using some of Google technologies, right? But those that use Google technologies, it will be really, so you'll be on a safer side, right? And then it should be, you should be you are supposed to be a member of the DSC club. At least they might be 1 or 2 or 3. Like for example, you might need someone who's an expert in health, but you don't have any health colleague on your team. So you might outsource someone. So okay, fine. Then working prototype. We need, they will need something that, maybe an application, but the most important thing here is the idea you have. If you think that there's a certain problem that you can tackle, and you can have something like a prototype that can bring out the process. It might have an ugly interface, it might not be complete, but it should be, there should be a prototype. You'll be on safer side. But however, if you have your idea and it's hard to implement, but you can also try it and submit. Like in UCU, you can submit around 10 projects, 20, 30, it depends. You can just submit, just try your luck. Then if you win, remember it's a competition. So if you win, if UCU wins, a story will be created by Google, and it will be featured on the official websites of Google. Then mentorship from Googlers for your project. Remember, it was a prototype. So it will be now passed through accelerator programs to make sure that it's somewhere ready for consumption. And then you'll be able to access Google Cloud Google Cloud Platform credits. So sometimes if you go to Google platform, Google Cloud Platform, sometimes they ask you to subscribe. So you'll make sure, if you win, or that team wins, so you'll be able to access those things for free, right? And then you'll have free access to all online courses. Coursera, Udacity, Quick Labs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, can I say by God's grace? I don't know, in fact, by God's grace, because if you look at my application that I have, I don't think whether it's more than even 3 MBs. It's just small, just a small application on Play Store. If you can, if you have quick internet, you can just, immunization calculator. Now, I don't know, you know, at first, you know, my university is just 4 years old, so I was like, always in the groups, you can see guys as if it's a dev fest, like as if it's a crusade, like too much people. And in my university, we're around 400 students, so if you make a certain session, just half of this class, that's maximum. Sometimes, because there are people who are interested, sometimes some people are bored, something like that. Those happen. But what I can tell you is I just kept on, even though it's 3 students, even though it's 4 students, I just made sure that I follow my roadmap. So when Solution Challenge started, I used to see they were like, the deadline is May 31st, they used to remind us. But I'm telling you, I could not even think of submitting this project because it was cartoon. And you saw Dev, I was with Dev in Accra when I met her. I was seeing his project. You see, his project is full of machine learning. It could learn that this road you are taking, now you are going to the toilets, you are going to, it was really a good project. And whenever I saw it in the groups, these guys, I cannot even compete. My app is to cartoon. Now, I don't know. This is really God's grace. At the last hour, that was at night, I was like, oh, I submit this cartoon project. I was like, okay, let me just submit it to show that I'm a participant. So I did not even realize, because they wanted a maximum of five people. Sure, I had friends that I would put, but I don't know, I didn't even think about it. I just said, let me submit. So we were 3 people who were working on this project. Me, this guy, and this one. Others were working on other projects because we used to divide projects. So, but trust me, if I knew that this thing is serious, I would get like 5 people I put. But it really hurted me. I just wish I joined them. So when I applied, I just got a reply that my project has passed on to semifinals. I was like, what? Which project? Because I didn't even tell any of these guys. I just submitted. You know, have you ever submitted something to submit? So they were like, it has semifinals, and they were telling me to schedule a meeting for the interview. I had a workshop at Sheraton, so I just got a room. I sat somewhere, and I had good internet. Everything was fine. Trust me, that was the most it was so terrifying, because the person I designed this application using JavaScript, those who know native script. So it was just a rapid stuff. I did it within 2 weeks because this guy wanted it very fast. So we did it so fast. Now, the person whom they placed, the people who were on my team, Erika, the lady who was here at first. Then there was also the guy who leads JavaScript in Google. So there's nothing like lying. Don't even lie anything. Another person was a health worker that was based in Singapore. Yeah. Okay, it was a call, but different people around. They placed the guy for JavaScript. They placed the guy. I connected JavaScript to Android Studio, the Grado. They also brought another guy that is part of the team that develops Android. When they introduced those guys, I just said, now what should I say? It is a simple app. I just use some small technologies. My interview was very small. I just talked about stuff. We connected these. They asked a lot of technical questions. Others, I failed. I really failed to answer, because someone could ask you something, and before you just used it, you found it on Stack Overflow, you copied the code, you edited, you know those things. So sometimes, yeah. After winning this is when I knew that, hey, this thing is serious, by the way. So that's when I sat down. I was like, okay, I think this app is good. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Now, this app, let me first tell you what it does, because I really forgot. This is an immunization calculator, and it's a health tech. And what it does, I don't know, those people who have already reached it, what it does is, the major functionality of it is, okay, let me just bring a scenario. Just imagine you take your child. Your child is 1 year, 2 years, and 3 months, right? But these vaccines that they administer to these kids have policies. And you realize that there is maybe like polio. There's polio dose 1, there's polio dose 2, and polio dose 3. So those who know, we have what we call immunization cards, right? And that's where they write, in case they administer you polio 1, they write something like that. So what it does is, now there are 2 versions now after these guys came in for Google, but my first app, that's what I'm on, the immunization calculator. So what it does, if you bring your child, what I'll do, I'll just know the age. After knowing the age, I can just tick the vaccines that you've already taken. Then the application can generate for you the vaccines that your child is due to take that day, right? I don't know if you get. But how it is done, okay, there's some hospital that I made a case study on how it is done. You bring your child, the health worker asks you, or the receptionist, how old? 3 months. They tell you to put into that cluster or go to that cluster. Now that cluster, that means that is the range where they give maybe tuberculosis, maybe polio dose 2, something like that. But in the policy, you're not supposed to give vaccine to a child who has missed the first dose, right? So sometimes you realize that a child is given dose 2, missed dose 1, that becomes an issue. But the health worker, there are a lot of kids. He cannot just sit down and then check on the policies, when is polio 2 given, when is polio 3 given, something like that. So that's the solution that we are bringing in. We are having all the policies. So a health worker doesn't need to know, did this kid miss this? Did he miss this? Did he miss this? Right? Now, this version was, the guy I saw, you saw for WHO, he liked the application. He gave some money, we placed it on Play Store, and it's already working in Ghana. And the policies that are there are yet for Ghana. But it's under WHO, so I'm trying to make sure that also Uganda adopts its law. I'm writing proposals, and yeah, it's promising. I got an appointment with UNICEF and WHO, and I think with time it will be somewhere. Now, part of the prizes that I was talking about, Google came in. When Google came in, we designed another application now, another version that we really need to test. And this version now, it simplifies things more. Now there's a version, there's an application for you as a mother or as a custodian. So whenever a vaccine, time for a vaccine reaches, like dose 3, you'll get an SMS. Your application will notify you. You can read about the vaccines your child can take. But most important thing I was targeting on, SMS. At least those without smartphones and smartphones, at least they can receive that SMS. So that SMS can easily come, please take your child for this vaccine before this time, blah, 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 blah. So there are a lot of things that we've done yet. And if you really need to know more, you can contact me. Another thing, what I was supposed to say. I think that's it. And yeah, you know, you can get afraid at first, and because you're going to compete with people like people from Harvard, people from India, people from Indonesia, right? Even people from Africa. Talk of Nigeria, those guys are crazy. Yeah. So you realize that you might think that those people have already good stuff, they're already advanced, but trust me, what I realized is it is not about the complexity of the project. It's about the complexity of the solution, the problem you are targeting, right? How many people are being helped by your solution? The vision that you have to solve a certain solution. How many people will benefit from it? How huge is the problem you're trying to tackle? So don't target at the solution. People submitted stuff with drones around. Those are projects with AI and other stuff. But what I can tell you is those projects were targeting a few already people with money. But now me, how am I going to purchase that project with a drone? So don't worry. Where we are in Africa, we have a lot of problems. Let's think about those. And those are the problems those are the solutions that will really win. And just from here, you'll have your solution being supported and you get a breakthrough just from there, right? So don't get afraid. I know it's a global thing. That is it. But it was really a shock that it's Africa that took it. Making matters worse, Uganda. Making matters worse, Arua district. By a university that is 4 years old, right? That's what I realized. I was like, this thing, it's we who can take it because we know our challenge. Those guys have already solved. Now they are solving problems of rich people. So we can make it. But what you can do is market yourself. Because whenever you market yourself by the things you do, people with problems will reach you. Just that I don't have time, but the way this guy reached me was weird. He found me at my place. I was not even dressed. At my place, he went to the university and they had to direct him to my place. But he found me on Facebook. It was like, Muni University. You know, these people, these WHOs, they go to deep villages to see how many kids are dying, how many kids are getting vaccines, those things, eh? So that's where the guy now got me from, right? So by marketing yourself, people will come. Make sure that even right now, just tweet. There is a Twitter handle for UCU. Just tweet, just from now. Everything you do, people are going to start following you. The Google developers will start following you. What are you doing there? Some our guys there in UCU, are they doing something? That's when they will follow you. And everything you do, whether bad, whether weird, you do it. Someone can perceive it as good. Me, I did something which is small, but these people are perceiving it as something big. Then, be passionate in everything you do. Just get devoted. You can reach there. And then, empower others. There are some people who are not here. But this message can be taken to other people. I liked her story. I didn't know it, by the way, that she started as an architect. Then she really liked tech, and then she came back. Wow, just keep the spirit. Right now, you can change life for someone out there. The reason as to why the app I did for health, it would be done by someone doing nursing. But this is because he has that knowledge of tech. I learned programming in 1 week. We had a paper. I didn't know that it's going to be practical. So we did fundamentals of programming in year 1, so I didn't like those things. Me, I was an academia, people who used to be on bursaries, what. So I didn't like those things. But within 1 week, I just sat down, I said, okay, there's an exam. I learned. I started with Python. I was like, wow, I think it's good. That's how I started. So just encourage others, please, because you might encourage someone who's going to be a pull to you, right? So don't leave this knowledge here. Just go out. Just talk to someone else. That person can even help you to do something that you don't know that you can do, right? Yeah, unless otherwise, if you have any question, I think you can give me only 1 second. If there's any question, but that's my Twitter handle, you can follow me. If you need more discussions, reach her, you'll reach me as well. We can discuss. Is there any question about a special solution challenge? Is there any question, especially the Google Solution Challenge? Okay, maybe after. Thank you.
So thank you, Sami. Let's give him a sorry.
This is one of my gifts. Swag. I didn't talk about that.
Google gives swags as well, which is very encouraging. So that is it from Sam. Our next speaker is Mr. Solomon. Who will be talking about communities. Okay, still is so slow. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so I'm going to invite Mr. Solomon up here to come and talk to us about communities and the importance of communities and why you should join DSC. So, you can take the floor.
How will I go next?
So you tap on this side.
If I tap the side, okay. We are here talking about technology, but you cannot know everything. I happen to come from a place where people talk tech. Everything is tech. And whenever things happen, because they know you're there, every little thing, people are going to run to you. And some of them you don't know. Good evening, everyone. Are we all happy? We don't look like we're all happy. How many are excited about today? Some people only put up their hands when you see them. That probably trying to say, I think I shouldn't be, let me not be left out. So, my name is Solomon Opio. And what you see there is my Twitter handle. I'm going to be telling you at some point that you need to make a lot of noise when it comes to social media. It can take you places. So while you're here, please feel free to tweet. Feel free to talk about. Do you have a handle, a Twitter handle? Did you share that? So you should be talking about this. Make noise about it. So I want to start with my. I want to look at something while I get to talking about communities and helping us understand how you can be a part of this, how you can be a part of this DSC and getting to another level. I finished, I went to the university and I did software engineering. I did software engineering for 4 years. One thing that we did, you know how your parents send you to school and you're like, okay, you don't know where to start from, you don't know where you're going, and yeah, but because your parents want you to do some course. Then along the way, you realize that, okay, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing, because you're doing, you have so many things to do. Within IT, for example, some of us are looking at, how many IT students are here? Let me see. You know, when you start something, you need to know who is in the house. IT students. Then there was some engineering, some other engineering. Okay, when you look at software engineering, that may also be engineering. If you look at what I mean is probably doing telecom, civil, and all those. Electrical. Do we have any apart from the IT? Okay. Now those are all fields that can still fall under what? Those are all fields that can still fall. You can do something IT around those areas. So to continue, I got to the university and I remember a lecturer asked us, what do you want, what are you going to, after your software engineering course, what are you going to be doing? What course are you doing? IT. What are you going to do after your course? Which year are you? Second year. What do you think you're going to do after 3 years, right? Yes, after the 3 years, what do you think you're going to, what are you going to become? I'm going to be doing cybersecurity. Let me ask one of the backbenchers, those who may not want, those who sit behind, they don't want to be picked. My brother here who is smiling. Your name before you. Alan. My middle name is Alan. Alan, what are you going to?
Basically, I want to do structural engineering. So I want to learn coding as part of. I'm doing coding because of passion.
Okay.
Basically, structural engineering.
Which year?
I'm in second year.
You're in second year. Okay, that takes me to something else. How many first years are here? About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some people did not put up their hands. How many second years are here? How many third years are here? Is there a course of 4 years here? How many fourth years are here? Okay. So, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to those fourth years who are not here. So, when this happened, we got into when this lecturer asked us, people gave their different answers, just like you have done. But then he did not even tell us what we would be doing. Remember, there are people who have been sent by their parents. Then there are people who really wanted the course, but still did not even understand what the course was about. So, along the way, we studied when it comes to group work or any other, end of year projects and whatever people are doing. Guys, of course, have their raw. There's that raw information you have about something. You do not actually know. You don't have much. You can hardly develop an app to completion. How many of us here can now say, okay, I can come up with this app without any problem and with very minimal guidance? I wish the fourth years were here. If you're doing, okay, or even the third years of IT and all that. If you say I can do this, you put up your hand. You can. Okay. When we did all this, the lecturers were actually not helping us a lot as well. The lecturers come up and they're like, okay, guys, you need to do this. There is actually a process for you to actually find a solution and even do it and finish developing. We came up with very serious apps. I remember my final year project was a solid waste management system. And this solid waste management system, after coming and working for a period of time, I was actually invited to several universities, Mbarara University. Every time I went to Mbarara University, I used to go as a judge. And of course, you see so many applications that people have developed, and there are so many solid waste management systems. Tell me about any solid waste management system that you have seen in the market today. You have seen. Tell me about it.
It was started by my OB. It's called Martin Tusime. Yeah, it's called Your Waste app.
Okay. What does it do?
Like, you register with them and they come and they collect your waste. Yeah.
Okay. Let me go straight to my point. There are those that Your Waste. I know about Your Waste. I didn't know it was your OB. I know about Your Waste. Now that is one that actually came out and can do something. Recently, they actually presented at Makerere University. Again, I was one of the judges. And when this came up, the first thing you look at, you're like, okay, this one is working. the process that they used is not the process that the others were developing. Let me tell you about how mine was working. You have a bin. You have a bin, and at about two levels, you have a sensor. You have a sensor. There's something sending. There's sending a signal to the other side of the wall of the bin. Then you will have another one, another chip with a sensor, of course, sending information, so that whenever the signals are blocked by anything, it can do what? It will notify the authorities, KCCA, to go and pick. To tell them, okay, this is at this level, it's about to get full. Then you get to the next level, it's about to get full. No, when it gets to the next level, the bin is full. So let it be what? Picked. We even went to KCCA, we asked them, how can this work? Is this something good? They were excited, of course, but we did not know any process that would lead us to that what? So, looking at things, security and all those, we did not have anything. There was no guidance. Why am I telling you all this? When you join a club like this, you can always go and tap on her and tell her, we need to learn ABCD. Google is going to be giving a lot of material that you people can learn from. So it's not only about you coming to learn code and all that, but look at the challenge that Sam went through. This is something that was calculated, and they followed all these processes to help them understand. So it's not like you went and what you're doing was just, what did you call it? He was really belittling your app was cartoon. You came up to that point to get to that level because you did what? You followed what was meant to be done, which is not going to be given to you in class. No one is going to teach you the process of innovation and all that, how to come up with an app and all those in class. That will not happen. So when that, from this, whenever you have that kind of challenge, you're going to brainstorm, you're going to have a lot of interactions, you're going to have mentors and all that who will help you to build a solution. So, from those actually, from our applications, someone tells you, a lecturer who is in charge of your class, want from numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, be in the first group. Alphabetical orders. You find in a group, everyone has the A names. The names are starting with probably A or something, and you're like, hey, what is this? But there is also that skill set that is needed within that what? So that brings me to a point of saying, this is not only for IT students. Encourage your other members to be part of this club, even when they may not be doing IT, but have the interest. These are people who give you ideas. It could be from any other course. So, that is just one of the benefits that you can have. Coming back to, just to help you understand a bit about the Google developer groups, and then to the developer student clubs. At a point in time, there was actually a GDG within this university. So there was a Google developer group in this university. And along the way, I think about a year back, some you went to, you had you were lead for 1 year. So just before, and its term just ended, just before that, there were Google developer groups. Now, when you look at the Google developer groups, based in, there are those which are based in cities or some other districts. You'll find GDG Kampala, you'll find GDG Entebbe, you'll find those, I think those Mukono. No, those UCU, then there was Mukono. So, the Google developer groups within the universities, time came and because this was meant to be owned by, it was meant to be owned by students, that is how they were phased out from the what? From the universities. So, the universities, I don't know if I should call it a replacement or renamed, but of course they have different content. This is more suited for the students. You'll find a GDG lead, after finishing the university, is now operating from outside. And yet there should be what? The presence. It should be within the university to benefit the students. So that means having someone like Patience within the university, you can easily reach her for any kind of help that you may need. So I'm going to be telling you about this. Though I wanted to share something briefly about what? Okay, about Patience, then getting into the ladies. How many ladies do we have here? The ladies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other one is listening from outside. Okay, about 6 ladies in this room. Is that fair? Is that fair? I was told I have very few minutes, and I want to go straight to my point. But I want to talk about this. So one, we need to encourage the ladies to be part of this. I started working, when I left the university and getting into all those things that I mentioned about, I started working with a company called Outbox. And I worked with Outbox for a period of 5 years. And that is where, along the way, before leaving Outbox, I started leading the Google developer groups. I led the Google developer groups for 3 years. There are 2 things. I'm getting to what I should, where I should be. Is this on my slide? That is basically about. Now from here, after leaving the university, I joined Outbox, and one thing I was in charge of was capacity development. We had several sessions about, leave alone the Google technologies. In the other, what I was doing for Outbox also had a lot to do with the trainings and managing communities and all that. So, we could have an event attended by up to 100 people. And we do not have what? We do not have, out of this 100, we can have about 5 ladies. So, that has continued up to up to tomorrow. We just do not understand why the ladies do not want to be part of this. So it's those of us who have, while I was coming here, I need to, let me say this in a low tone. While I was coming here, I was told, okay, we are coming to Uganda Christian University, and they're very strict. At some point, I even thought, okay, I'm coming in a T-shirt. Is that allowed? So I wanted to say that if you have, those of you who have girlfriends and all that, please encourage them to come. So probably the issues of having boyfriends, girlfriends are not allowed. That's why I'm saying I need to have a low tone. So that was a big problem to us. One time Patience came to Outbox. She was in high school, very passionate about the things, technology, what, and all that. Then after a period of time, she disappeared. Then I was asking myself, now, when it comes to, okay, the ladies and all that, my mind runs to her. I'm like, okay, where did this girl go? She was like a little girl. So we came, interacted. She's fairly what? She's fairly not little now. So one time I decided to send an email to her. I'm like, okay, what are you up to? What's happening and all that? Then she tells me, okay, I'm now at campus doing architecture. I'm like, okay, that's okay. But there is that passion that you left behind. There is that passion that you really need to build. You need to build. Even if you are still doing what? Even if you are doing the architecture and all that, please incorporate a bit of the IT and all that. Coming to the benefits of what? Benefits of communities. Being a student or being part of these communities, you must have that passion that I'm talking about. So, by then we had not yet moved to the cloud communities. I think I was still leading the Google developer groups when I met her. So I told her we need to do something about this passion that you have, but probably something can be hindering you and you do not have, maybe you feel like the passion is dying or something. But getting into, when she came back, she became part of the community. She became part of the community again. There are several communities. So attending the meetups whenever we had, and from these meetups you're also going to meet several people who can do what? Who can help you. So for you to make the best use of these communities, you must have that passion. You must have that passion and find ways of nurturing that passion. So many people came within the communities. I can share with you that those who have been part of these communities, which now for this case being the DSC, if you have that consistency, then you're going to have what? You're going to have you're going to get the best out of it. Consistency. Now, when she tells you, she has given you the program, what you need to do is have it in your calendar. This is just an example. If they say we are going to be meeting every first and second Saturday of the month, just mark it on your calendar and make sure you're there. Because the knowledge that you're having from class, you are not going to have them. I mean, the knowledge that you're going to have in class, you need another platform to do what? To nurture it. Are we together? So, when she came to, I remember some of the programs that she did, including the Outbox EDU program, doing web technologies and all that. She must have really benefited from that. Then at some point now she tells me, okay, I'm going to change my course. I'm like, okay, something is working. Those of you are doing whichever course you're doing, IT can be incorporated in that. And I'm not saying if you're doing any other course. I'm not saying if you're doing any other course, you're not in the right place. So, you can still have something out of that. The places, I have gone to several places where I go to judge. If you have IT solutions mixed with the others, what are they called? Interventions, there are others. Usually the ones which are going to come out best are what? Are the IT solutions. Just yesterday, I had a session at UCU and UMU. Those universities keep confusing me. Uganda Matters University. I was there yesterday, and people had come up with solutions. And these are actually master's students coming up with solutions. Others were not IT solutions, but the ones that came out best were the IT solutions. Whichever thing you're doing, just try to put there a bit of what? A bit of IT. Trust me, you won't regret. So, if they say, patience, I don't know, how much more time do I have? That I have 2 minutes. Can I have times 2? Another thing you need to do is whenever you're sharing, whenever you're learning to make the best use of that community, talk about what you're doing. Share about what you're doing on social media. Can you guys see me there? Are you sure? You see, when you're that black thing in between whites, you may not be seen. If I'm to tell you about this all came out from, that picture came out from sharing about what we are learning within our community and all that. Sharing about this. Now, the team that invited me for, this was the first time we had a community conference. Usually we have community conferences. This that we had in Ghana was for sub-Saharan Africa. Now, this was called the Global Cloud Community Conference. But I happen to be the only black lead out of about 150-60. And how did that come about? These guys saw what we were doing, and it wasn't part of Actually, the team in the Google team from Sub-Saharan Africa did not know about me going and all that. So what would happen is I get approval from my Sub-Saharan Africa, then get invited. But I went, and I happened to be, okay, there were a few blacks, but those were the Google Cloud experts. Out of sharing, they see what you're doing, they're like, yeah, this guy is doing something in his what? Community. Now, even if you're a member of this, I'm now in the second minute, right? So, even when you are a member of this community, a member of the DSC, share about what you're doing. Whatever you've learned, just tweet about them, talk about them, and opportunities will come your way. We may have to again reshare about these Twitter handles and all that later on. So, when this happened, later on I was invited again for Cloud Next. That was also still in San Francisco. Cloud Next. Usually an event attended by several, this time I think it was attended by about over 23,000 people. And still within the Sub-Saharan region, looking at the leads and all that, I was the only one who went for that. Because people knew about what we are doing. You can be doing something very brilliant, but because you are not sharing about them and all that, no one is going to see, and no one is going to, you will go nowhere. Share with her, tell her what you're doing, and when people begin following her, trust me, there are several others looking at what she's doing. Okay, while you learn, get to supporting other communities. When you look at, we ran a program. I didn't tell you about the Google Cloud Developer communities. After 3 years with the Google Developer groups, I decided to strictly lead anything related to cloud. That is still under the Google Developer groups, but it is a standalone community. It is not only what? GDG Kampala runs independently from what? GDG Cloud Kampala. So I decided to focus on GDG Cloud Kampala. Now when we are done with that, we shall be having something like we shall be having something like this. When you're now out of the university, you join the Google Developer groups or the Google Cloud Developer community. When you look at these ladies, we had a program which was called the Google Cloud Mentorship Program, and we're basically looking at cloud technologies. All the things are going to come to you. You're going to learn about them through her. We ran this program for a period of 6 months. And after that, we are now invited by other communities, like the Django Girls. When they told me the Django Girls, it's not like I love ladies or what. But because of what I mentioned earlier on, we want to have the ladies in the community and all that. When that happened, we decided we jumped on and we're like, okay, these guys have learned, they've been doing Python programming, Django. Now, how can we help them build their solutions on what? On Google Cloud. So we took over the Django Girls community. Not Django Girls. Did I say Django Girls? Yeah. The Pi Ladies. The Pi Ladies. So, these are the Pi Ladies, and these guys were the ones who were part of the Google Cloud Mentorship Program. They learned, and now they're giving back to community. What other thing is sweet about that? After you have been part of this, after you've been part of this and you've learned, give back to the community. That is where we are going. Okay, I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling guilty, but I think you gave me very little time. Who wants me to stop here?
Reverend, it's almost time to leave the building, sir.
Okay, let me do this as fast as possible. So when you have, there's a point where you're going to be called, you're going to have what we call, there's a program that is called the Google Expert Program. One of the things that they do, she mentioned earlier on that what you need to do is come and do what? If you know of people who are doing some technologies and all that, please come and share with the students. Let us learn together. When that happens, for you to be considered a Google Cloud expert, you can know everything that you know. And yeah, you call yourself an expert in it. But if you have not been doing community work, giving back to the community and all that, you are not going to be considered as a Google Cloud expert. Now, when you become a Google Cloud expert, all these opportunities that we have talked about, invitations to exclusive events and all that, they will be yours. There's a platform that you only need to. There's a friend of mine based in, he's a Google Cloud expert based in South Africa. Recently he says, okay, I want to do what? I want to have, I want to go to any of the country, one of the countries that I've not been to before. Uganda was one of them. And all he needed to do, if he wanted to come on vacation for any of, for what he wants, all he needs to do is go to the Google Cloud, the Google Expert platform and get a session in one of the countries, wherever he wants to go, and he will be funded to get to that place. Those are the benefits. So you're starting from here, know that you're going somewhere. Do not take this lightly. So, these ladies, just recently, I received an email from the program manager of the Google Cloud Communities, the global program manager. And he was telling me, Solomon, we see what you're doing, and what we want to see. He told me, I'm working with the marketing team to see if we can draw more attention to your work and what your mentors are doing. These guys are still being assisted by mentors, but after a while, they're going to become the mentors. Now, the next program that we are going to be running is going to be run by these ladies and some other members who are part of the what? Of the first program. Tell me, if you now jump, if you get into the marketing platform of Google, these guys know their things. So, those are some of the things that we really need to do what? We need to embrace. Now I'm in negative minutes. Allow me just have this. This was part of that program. I've already talked about it. Allow me just talk about this. The DevFest Kampala that she just talked about. We are going to have this event happening next month on 26th of October. So, just copy this link and register. When you get to this link and you register, you'll also find the meetup page that you can be a part of, and you can always do what? You can always join that group as well. Please register for this. Invite your friends. I have a feeling the university is going to probably give you a bus. Yeah, last year it happened. I just don't want to assume that it will happen again. But I know that this university loves what? Loves the students. So basically, that is it. Feel free to find this, the Google GDG Cloud Kampala, and you can follow me on on Twitter as well. When you join that group, you can always get notification on whatever is happening. I'm very sorry for taking a lot of your time, but I hope we are up to something great. With that, I want to wish you all the best, and with the beginning of this, personally, I'll be coming back. I'll be coming here once in a while just to check on what is, in case I'm invited, I'll be coming. So, thank you very much, and I want to wish you all the best of the learning and everything that comes with it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Solomon, for everything you have spoken about.
Someone wanted to ask me a question. Is it still allowed?
Okay, so just very fast, because we're about to. Only question, though. Yeah. If you have any questions for him, you can ask him after.
Okay, I was really going to be one of the advocates to give you more time, because I really had quite a number of questions to ask you.
We can talk after this.
Yeah.
Available after this.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know which one to choose.
Choose one that you think is going to benefit like
Yeah.
All of them, I think, in my opinion. So, but let me go with my question number 2. The first question you opposed to us, it was about how to be an active member. I don't know whether I was dozing or maybe you just skipped it. You just really didn't talk about it.
Okay, I actually talked about them probably, I just didn't say. It is, if you look at this, being an I actually mentioned about 2 things. Where are we? The thing is, it has timed out. But I remember talking about consistency. Being an active member. And I talked about sharing. What did it say? Okay, I remember talking about 1, being very consistent with what you're doing. You will definitely make it. I talked about sharing about your what you're doing on social media. Come and present. How are you going to benefit from whenever you present? If she's going to tell you, what's your name? Joshua, you are going to run the next session on 2 weeks from now. One thing you're going to do is to make sure you know everything else around whatever you're going to talk about. So it's also an opportunity for you to do what? For you to learn. So when you now get to present, you are polishing yourself. I talked about consistency. I talked about I started with a passion. If you have a passion for what you have, definitely, that is what is going to push you to consistency. Share about what you're doing. Discuss with others. The day first that we're going to have, I actually sent a call for applications for speakers. I sent out a form for people to fill if they wanted to be speakers. It was in the afternoon. The following day, I found 16 people had applied. 16. They really want to be there. You know you're not going to be paid and all that, but you want to be there because you know it's also a learning platform if you share with what? With other people. So, do those. Now, all I need to do is now go and select. Of course, some people will apply when they may not have that level of expertise, but then it's just a matter of filtering.
So much, everyone, for coming. I've come to the end. I believe everyone has gotten a sticker. Please feel free to put them on your laptops and tell people about the club. And yeah, if you haven't registered, you can pass by that table and just give us your email address. So I'll be sharing more about the WhatsApp group and the meetups that we'll be having. Yes. So thank you so much and have a good night. If you have any questions, you can ask. I'll still be around. Feel free to leave at your will.